Hi, I'm Mikey Tomkins and I'm an artist and researcher working in the area of urban agriculture and food sustainability. Shieldfield Wheatfield came out of a project ran last year. I drew an imaginary map of Shieldfield looking at all the places where we potentially grow food, and I did a series of walks over about 7 or 8 days with about 100 members of the community looking at this idea of how much food could we grow in the neighbourhood. And one of the women had planted birdseed or thrown birdseed around some of the on some of the public planters, and wheat began to grow. And so we kind of, I guess, germinated this idea of growing wheat in Shieldfield. It was entirely possible. I think it helped by the idea that a local bakery had opened up and people began to talk about the curiosity around the potential of growing food, and that actually some of them were so frustrated with the way that public space had been run down due to cuts, etc., that they were willing to risk some of their time to put the spade in the ground and turn this imaginary map into something that was real. I think wheat came out of it purely through some of the conversations with the residents. It kind of just surfaced as an idea. So here we are in mid-March in Shieldfield in Newcastle, and we've spent the last 3 days moving a considerable amount of soil around the neighbourhood and building raised beds with the community. And we've planted about 10 to 12 square metres of wheat here, and the idea is that over the next 6 months it will grow, and in September we'll be able to harvest the wheat, maybe for the first time in 100 or 150 years. And then we will have a harvest festival where we will bake the bread and have a potluck meal here at the gallery at SAW. And the community who have been looking after the wheat, both in their homes but also around the neighbourhood, will be invited to take part in that meal, and we will bake the bread and go back to a couple of quite ancient ideas of neighbourhood, where the origin of the word meaning the person that tills the soil next to me, but perhaps also back to that idea of company, which is derived from the French word for bread, where we would come together as a neighbourhood, bake bread, eat it and have a meal and celebrate our local urban harvest. I think this project's important because it demonstrates the capability for urban spaces to provide some food. I don't think we're going to be self-sufficient in this area of Newcastle for wheat, and it'll probably be more practical to plant other types of food here, short season vegetables for example, that have to travel shorter distances. But I think it shows people that public space can be more than simply decorative, that it can have a productive use and contribute towards local food production. But I think it's also important because it brings together disparate areas of the community. So we had students here yesterday as well as residents, and I think that it will hopefully demonstrate to people that in the future perhaps our urban spaces have to be very different from what they are now. We've been turning over grassed areas into raised beds gardens, and grass is notoriously hard to maintain in terms of its constant mowing. And perhaps we will want to have a lower carbon future, and that means us doing a little bit more legwork and spade work.
Just back watering the wheat, and it looks like there have been a lot of pigeons trying to eat the seed up, so hopefully there's still some left, and over the next couple of weeks it will come up and start to sprout. So there hasn't been any rain in the past week since we sowed the seed, so there's a lot. It's very dry, so I'm trying to water it as much as I can as my form of exercise for the day. It's day 14 in the Shieldfield Wheatfield wheat garden, and I'm back watering again because we still haven't had any rain. It's still quite dry and nothing has sprung up yet, but I'm hopeful we will get something in the next couple of weeks. Look at those beautiful green shoots. Oh baby, that wheat is coming through. Woo-hoo. That is one beautiful sight for sorry eyes. Look at the gorgeous green shoots. White as the horses, they carry me away.
So, mid-August, bringing the harvest home in Shieldfield, and the birds have had a very good meal, and they've left us perhaps half of the ears in some places all of them, but in other places just sort of half. I can feel the seed inside there, still a little bit left, and despite the fact that Lydia very gallantly netted it all, they managed to get inside and they managed to strip a lot of it out. But I still think there'll be enough for a few loaves for our harvest day and our celebrations in October.
Yeah, you need to keep this net for another time. Listen to the birds singing and...
It creates a better sense of like, brings up a sense of sort of fear. Pace. So when it's ripe, it's past.
This is ready, but this is not ready.
So I think that's okay.
Around. I think, yeah, I put it there, yeah.
Hey. You have to sing a song and do a dance. This is like a whole loaf of bread in reality, because it's like, the birds haven't touched it. It's great.
It's a bit creepy, I know. I don't know her at all. I don't.
Okay.
I've just...
Okay, that one, I've done that one.
But I don't know her.
You can see.
That's like...
This wheat, which is in Napier Street, is much heavier and thicker than the wheat that we got out of SAW, which is quite light.
Or next to church.
Or this one, which was the wheat that we got out of the planter in Shield Street. Yeah, and it's look at the difference.
Thank you.
String. Good.
Very difficult to cut.
Any of this?
No, my demons, you say, come and go with the hay.
Yeah, it's fine. Mikey, all this black one is okay to use.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently it is.
Okay. Somebody's having fun. Look. Everything is better than nothing. Swim is better than nothing, and then in distance.
Looks great.
Yes, it's very.
Hello there. Right, so we're in Big River Bakery, and what we're doing today is milling wheat. It's actually been grown in Shieldfield, and then we've got these mills, stones inside them. In goes the grain in the chute at the top. Turn on the motor, and out comes the flour. So this is quite coarse. We'll put it through the system again to make it finer. A lovely bread. What's good about it? It's all the grain, all the goodness of the grain has gone into this flour. So it's a healthier flour we're making here. Healthier than a lot of the flours that are made for the big factories. That's the idea. So we've grown a little bit of wheat in Shieldfield this year. Next year, maybe a field, who knows. You fill up the chute. And you can keep filling the chute up. You can see it, just keep pouring it in and it'll keep coming out. Maybe the first flour in Shieldfield milled for hundreds of years. History for Shieldfield. Yep.
What kind of flour is it?
All over. But from the countryside. So quite a dark bread. This recipe is up here. There's two types of flour on here. A white flour and the Shieldfield flour. So the white flour we'll bring and the Shieldfield flour comes from the grain. So 100% English loaf. So that's a bit different. So because so much of the bread flour comes from Canada and other countries. Let's add the dry ones and mix them together first. So standard white flour, 300 grams, the Shieldfield flour, 200 grams, 7 grams of yeast, 10 grams of salt. So white flour, 300 grams. Yeah. Do you want it? Go press that one. 0. That's it. So then we've got the shield. Right, I'll just add a bit more wine. Bakeries, they're making some, they can't call it breading.
Okay, Amina,
Yes.
this is
即係可以撈啦，唔係你唔可以劈佢一陣，因為你劈一陣揦死佢，你咁樣撈埋佢攬。
Oh, right, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. In the bakery, we always go on weight. Yeah, we brought it in early and we warmed it on top of the coffee machine, so it's a bit more runny.
Tải làm sao mình không làm.
Phải lắm mình ăn phải lắm. Kiểu ra kiểu.
I think that's still wet.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's still very wet. Isn't it? Needs a little bit more. That's good. See, they're all different. So we all weigh out. Maybe some slight.
Thấy cô gì sao không?
Yeah, it's a little hard. I know. Yep, so we.
Twist one side.
What's up? Yeah. Good, going up the top end. You alright, Jill?
Yeah, fine.
It'll be okay. Yeah, good. Maybe I'll put another one in. So we've got a lovely warm proving cabinet here. So about 28 degrees and it's humid too with a steam bath at the bottom. So it's consistent temperature, so those bread should prove maybe 15-20 minutes.
Okay, Lydia will send it to you. Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
with it to make it fit.
Okay. Hold on.
Whatever happens, no one's died. It's just a loaf of bread, so it's good. It's good. Oh, that's the colour. Yeah, that's good. So, and then the seam at the bottom.
Yeah.
The bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you've already got one. Yeah, they're ready to go. So, yeah, that's great.
Wow. First time I grow wheat and first time for many other people here to grow wheat, and actually some people are very welcome, feeling very interesting. Some people are saying, wow, very weird what we're doing. There's a field we grow at the household in the garden, and there's field just up the rice bed, and there's a quite organized field in Saw's garden, and then people walk past by and say, oh, that's weird. And also the one in Napier Street, some children thinking, what is that? And even some of them grow it in the school field. But because of this virus happening, no one can go to school and see it grow. So it's good to let them see how it grows on the rice bed of out the church and also just the street, and then they will like to know what happened after that and why it's here. And for me is this kind of weird weather and strange situation. That is something for us to like looking forward to and to ask questions and see it grow slowly. And now we collect it and melt it and how do you say that word? Take the wheat out to make just the grain and then melt it and then make bread. And the next step is taste the bread. Yeah, very exciting. And we got people who grow the wheat to join in the workshop to make it. I don't know, it's even actually John thinking is a very historical grow wheat in Shieldfield.
I helped water the wheat while it was still growing, and I also did the threshing of the wheat, which separates the wheat and the grains so they can be milled to make bread.
And how did you find the project?
It was fun. It was really cool because like you can make wheat and like turn it into bread, like that you made yourselves.
Did you taste any of the bread?
Yeah,
How was it?
it was good with the jam as well. It was good.
Good. And would you do the project again?
Yeah.
Great.
I found it quite moving to be part of this project, to see new growth coming up in unexpected places and people working together for a common purpose. It's a symbol of what might be, and looking back to the past when wheat was grown and used, and a reminder that we can use more local produce and develop our own skills and talent and use the land around here in which our homes are set and feel more connected with the earth and our neighbours and with creation really. And it's particularly powerful now during this time of COVID, a time none of us have ever known before, and which we long to come to an end, and need to work together, to not be wasteful, to use what we've been given, and to help each other and to form connections as best we can with people and with nature and with how food is made and produced. And yep, I hope it's the start of something in which big seeds will come.
I did some watering, and I also helped pick all the wheat that had been more or less distributed around Shieldfield. There were some in areas where other people were planting things, and there was also some in people's gardens like ours. And I also helped process the wheat so that we could get all the grains out, and it took quite a while, but it was surprisingly fun. It was an unusual way of doing things because we've never done things like that before. Now I have. And yeah, the bread was very nice. It was quite sweet. I don't know how else to describe it.
And how did you find the project? What did you feel about it?
I really enjoyed it because I'd never actually made bread before. So yeah, it was very fun.
Great. Would you do it again?
I would like to do it again, but with cake instead.
I really enjoyed meeting together and discussing growing wheat, and found it quite exciting to think that I was going to be part of this project in Shieldfield. We met on a drizzly day, I think, and I helped move soil to make the raised beds. Friends of mine planted the wheat in different parts of Shieldfield. During lockdown, it was really interesting to have a walk around and see how it was growing, and fascinating to see that some grew really tall quite quickly and the rest took quite a long time. Some bits were in the shade and it never really grew very tall, and other parts of Shieldfield obviously had more sunshine. I helped on the day that we went to harvest the wheat. We visited different places in Shieldfield, collecting the wheat together, which was really good fun. And the thought of coming and now baking the bread, seeing it milled and baking the bread's very, very interesting and exciting.
Hi, I'm Benji. I did some posters on the side of SAW for Shieldfield Wheatfield. and I've been really honoured to be part of the kind of the whole thing so far. I've just been doing some bread baking, and it's just been really exciting. It's yeah, I guess it's just an amazing kind of this imaginative way to see people putting value into the community and stuff. I've been privileged, I think, to be part of it.
Jam is not for the faint-hearted. If you've got diabetes, maybe this isn't a good thing to eat. You do add a lot of sugar into it. So there's our blackcurrant jam.
See the bubbles. Look at the...
Really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my demons, you say come and go with the haze. A man's will to play, holding my ways, oh, just like you did.
This is Mikey. He's in Shieldfield.
Hello.
This is Mike.
Hello, Mikey. I think we've...
Hello, Mike. I've seen your pictures of you growing the wheat.
That's right. I've loved growing the wheat. It's been great.
Well, I'm here. I'm here to protect the harvest of the wheat.
Well, that's what we needed, because I had to fend off aphids. I had to fend off the mouse that lives in our backyard, but I think it just runs around. I had to fend off spaceships for making crop circles. Oh, it's been shocking. And we got it harvested at the last minute. And it worked really well. I've still got all the little grains, because I was going to grind them up in a mortar and pestle. But then my partner was a bit suspicious because she used it for grinding up other things. I'll get round to doing it. That's a fantastic costume.
Well, I'm here, and I'm going to be wandering Shieldfield all day.
Are
so
you?
You might see me. As you can see, I'm in Shieldfield.
Yes.
So nice sunny day.
So you
are. And I'm going to be here to help celebrate the bread that we've grown together.
Oh, see, I love costumes. It's like all the straw men costumes and green men costumes.
Yes. And so I'm the spirit of the wheat that we've grown.
That's what
embodied.
It's been a fantastic event to take part in, even sort of remotely, because with everything else that's going on, it had to be like that. So it's been brilliant. I'm hoping to go back. I shall certainly try to make a biscuit out of it. You do hop around. I love
That was great.
You can teleport from different parts of Shieldfield, one to the other.
Yep, I'm floating. I'm in multiple places. I'm sort of wandering around, so I can cover the whole of Shieldfield in an hour.
Oh, now you're floating in midair.
There we go.
This is
I'm here now.
The mystery that we need more of. I
Yes.
hope students looking out of their windows, feeling imprisoned, that can see you and get a little
Should
bit...
be able to see me. They should be able to see me.
And that would be great. So it's been a smashing project to take part in. I should have brought me a bowl of wheat. Oh, never mind. I should do something with it. I should try and make it into maybe this. I'm not sure there's a scone's worth. There might be a digestive's worth, or ideally a custard cream's worth.
I don't think I've put you on the map because you weren't actually in Shieldfield, were you?
No. See, not that I'm entirely convinced you are, but never mind.
I'm here. I'm always here. I've always been here. Even during lockdown, I was here.
I think maps are lovely. They're one of my favourite things. And I've often thought, given that Shieldfield is literally missing from the maps, especially the official maps of Newcastle, which are foolishly available online and not locked down so they can be manipulated, we ought to do our own versions once we're out of this. And there's a whole sort of youth project and things like that. We'll get some proper maps of Shieldfield and make it the magical and mysterious place it ought to be, and that will be great.
And we also need to grow more wheat.
We certainly do. I love the idea that we could have wheat fields, but because the wheat fields, we don't want to homogenise the British landscape. We maybe need some herds of bison and packs of wolves as well, so we can both have the wheat fields and also rewild. That would be great.
I'm here to protect your wheat harvest.
Oh,
and to celebrate with you.
You're there to scare the kids by the looks of it.
On the mask is a map of Shieldfield. All the wheat has been grown.
Where did you get the pattern, or did you make the pattern for your costume?
It's glued to I made a smock, and it's glued to a smock in layers. Wow. So it takes about half an hour to put on from the top all the way down. So it's quite the pattern was, I just made it up basically. This is the second version. The first one didn't work very well. First one was all kind of string and just bound on, but this is Velcro, so it can come off and be boxed up and put back on again.
Wow.
So theoretically I can walk around in this. That was the idea, was that I would walk around in it, but it's got no back because I didn't do the back because I thought nobody will see behind today. But it means it's very heavy at the front. But the pattern was just, I looked at how they do those straw bear costumes. So we did some weaving, and the weaving was really complicated. We did it all with string. Julia, my partner, who is in this room somewhere, she does weaving. She helped with some of the weaving. And then we just realized glue worked better. So I just got the glue gun out and just glued all of them together in big sheets.
Wow.
And then Velcroed them in layers. There's quite a few layers on here. And then spray painted it up.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way it came out, actually. I was a bit worried because it's quite hard to see it. It's quite hard to get dressed in it because it falls apart very easily.
Oh, yeah.
all the wheat starts to fall out. So we had to glue every single strand together to make sure it stayed together. Hello there. I'm your wheat spirit, your Harvest Festival wheat spirit, to help you celebrate. And I've been walking around Shieldfield to bless the green spaces in the hope that next year we can have more of a harvest. So you might see me today walking around Shieldfield.
Good.
Hello.
Hi. Hello there.
Hi, Mikey.
Hello there. How you doing?
The costume is beautiful.
I'm in Shieldfield today, as you can see.
I can see you're flying high.
Floating above Shieldfield to help celebrate. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I'm in Shieldfield today, as you can see. You might see me wandering around.
How are you doing, Mikey?
I'm doing well. Yes, doing very well. I was going to say thank you because you were here right from the beginning to help shovel all the dirt and plant the seeds.
I sowed the seeds, but I couldn't be here for the threshing, unfortunately.
No, but you were here for the baking, the important bit, yes?
This is your Harvest Festival pack.
Thank you.
Well, it's a good turnout today, yeah?
Yeah. We've got actually 61 packs that we're handing out.
Right.
Not that many people are coming today. I
Right.
think 15 people collecting, but the rest are being distributed.
Oh, nice.